everybody, and welcome back to the OJ podcast. We have a bit of a fun one today. We're outside.
Yes.
The weather is simply lovely.
We are also in the same place. She is right there.
She's right there. We are just recording through this because we're having camera issues.
Yeah,
so
and it also works
way
better
to do it. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the F1 movie today, which we both saw maybe like 2 hours ago. Together, in person.
Yeah, it was like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it's like still fresh on our minds what happened and stuff. We did a bunch of things. I had McLaren nails on. They are now gone because we're going go-karting tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm repping my George Russell shirt. You can't see it, but George is on the back.
I have McLaren.
I've got my little bracelets, Mercedes and George Russell, and then I got Mercedes blue nails. So but mine aren't fake. So I can drive with these.
Yeah. Well, I have my McLaren, and then I have Lando with his, like, Lando green, and then this one is Oscar's, and then, I was gonna bring Oscar with us, but whatever.
We have
this
Oscar
one's McLaren. This is a McLaren. Ooh, this is a McLaren one, and then Isaac Hadjar is the pink and blue one.
So anyway, as much as you love our fashion, we are here to talk about the movie. I guess we should do spoiler-free discussion first. That would probably be best.
I don't know how to do spoiler free. I'm gonna spoil it anyways.
What did you think about the movie?
So in my opinion, I feel like it is a really good movie to try to get other people into the sport, but there is, like, obviously there is inconsistencies and there's stuff wrong with it and stuff, but, like, in my big professional opinion, I think it is the best way to bring a bigger, larger audience, but I know there's some people who don't even want the bigger, larger audience, which is a whole nother thing in itself.
Well, I've talked to Jamie about this. I really liked the movie. Is it accurate necessarily to the sport? In some ways, sure, and many ways, no. But I do think it's a good introduction. I actually think it's better than, like, A Drive to Survive. Introduction, because it's at least showing, like, the intricacies more, I feel like.
I think at least when you're watching this, you know it's a movie and it's not, like, a documentary or something like Drive to Survive. So, like, the movie dramatizes things, but, like, that's expected. It's a Hollywood movie. So, like.
So, that's why I didn't tell Jamie I thought that. That was more off the cusp thing. But, yeah, I mean, as the drivers were saying, cinematography was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Music was great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the driving scenes were very enjoyable to watch, which was good.
Yeah, I did enjoy watching them.
And I did enjoy the plot for the most part.
I did enjoy the storyline and the characterization of different people.
Were there certain things that took me out of the movie just because I'm an F1 fan?
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm aware.
Yeah.
But
there is, like, going back to characterization, I think that was probably one of my favorite things. We both write, and so we both know, like, characters and making up characters, and I think
they all felt realistic to who they were.
I think they did well with the characterization. Everything that the characters did made sense. I liked the arc of each of the characters. It fit well together.
Yes. And I think with that, we can start going into spoilers, because I know that's how we more would prefer to talk about the film anyway.
So, the rest of this is spoilers.
You have a 5-second warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Was Flavio in charge of Apex?
He was a very
Flavio
style character for sure. I don't even do you remember his name?
Oh god.
It
was something that, like, reminded me of something. It started with an R. Ramon?
I don't know.
It's something like that.
I remember Sonny Hayes and Joshua Pierce. I honestly don't know a single other name of the actual characters.
R for the team principal guy.
Okay.
And then I don't remember. I thought the girl was Irish girl. Kate? Was her name Kate?
I don't know.
We're gonna call her Irish girl.
Or you could the team strategist.
Team strategist, yes.
Well, she wasn't a strategist. She was
the head engineer, right?
No, she was something else. She made parts.
Person?
Yeah, technical director or something like that.
Yeah.
I
mean, I guess we can kind of start with that because I know
that's
her being a woman to basically be the Sunny's love interest was something a lot of fans were upset about going in.
I think they didn't do it poorly, in my opinion.
I don't think so either. They kept it very professional.
I think everything was very professional, and I also think, like, there was nothing dramatic that they did while racing or anything, which was very good.
Also, they had really good chemistry and were cute together, so I think, like, as a... Like, I can kind of forgive it.
I also liked it because she wasn't doing it to get higher up. She was already the highest she could get. So it's like, there wasn't that kind of bad incentive about it.
Yeah. I don't know, they were cute, and I think she was good for the development of Sunny's character, and I think he was good for her character development as well. But yeah, like, I get why that could be icky. I don't necessarily think the movie even needed a love interest, so it does kind of feel a bit...
That's most movies, though. Like, love interests, I feel like, kind of have to happen sometimes because a lot of people lose the plot if there isn't, like, that love interest. I don't know. Fair. It's weird.
And I guess for, like, most sports movies, you would still have a relationship plot. So, like, it's not the most unexpected thing in the world.
I think, honestly... If I'm gonna pick a favorite character, it was gonna be the mechanic girl. I loved her.
She was so sweet.
She seemed so nice, and, like, we never see female mechanics, so it was really good for, like, representation and stuff. I loved her. I loved that Sunny was like, you're fine.
Yeah. Oh, that team was such a mess. Oh, here's the other thing I want to get into, is, like, as much as I liked Sunny actually as a character, I do not like Brad Pitt. Because he is a literal proven abuser.
Yeah.
But, like, the issue is it's not really an issue. Brad Pitt's a phenomenal actor. So it's like, damn, I really like this, like, character he's playing, and I'm able to separate it from the actor, but, like, should I separate it from the actor? I don't know.
I think when it comes to acting, sometimes you just have to separate it because there's no way to get them out of the industry. Like, if you boycott things, it's not going to do much.
Unfortunately. It has to be very widespread. Like,
yeah.
It has to be everybody.
It's not like canceling some YouTube influencer.
Yeah.
That will do stuff, but... A movie star that's been in the movie industry for as long as him.
Yeah, it's the longevity of it, I think. No, so should we start, like, talking about the actual movie then?
Yeah, I guess we can, like, start from the beginning. I really liked them starting where they did.
I did too. I thought, where was it, Daytona?
It was the 24 Hours of Daytona, which is an IMSA race. I've only recently started getting into that, so, like, some of the things that were happening, you were like, can that happen? And I'm like, I don't know.
I feel like he overtook people very quickly, but they also may have been going over multiple laps.
Well, I thought you were...
like it was one lap, and I was like, okay.
It was multiple laps because...
But initially I read it as, 8
because he drove
overtakes in one lap.
He would have drove for like 4 hours straight.
Yeah, but that makes sense because you could potentially overtake. So that was actually fine once I realized it was over multiple laps.
The hitting each other, I don't like. That could be an IMSA thing that is totally fine, and that's just racing for them. Like in F1, it's not, but like those moments, it could have just been that. I just don't know.
I mean, honestly, you see, this is a terrible frame of reference. In the Cars movies, they're allowed to hit each other.
But that's NASCAR.
That's true. It's a different sport.
Yeah.
The cars are closer, though, because it is closed wheeled, so I wonder if it's like a closed wheeled thing. But anyway, while we're there, we meet Hayes.
Yeah.
And he obviously...
You could tell, like, sleeping in his van. I think I knew more about what his character arc was than you did.
About it.
Going into it, because, like... You were talking about the money or something, and I was like, oh, yeah, he gambles it all away. And I was like, that's why.
before we continue this, some guy in our theater bought the seat directly next to me. We had an open theater, basically.
We were, when he bought his ticket, it was the two of us and no one else at that time. No one was there because we did an early showing at 1 p.m. And, like, I'm from a small town, and that's where we are, is my home. And so, like, no one goes to these kind of things. More people were going to the new Pixar...
Dragon, I think.
How to Train Your Dragon, or the new Pixar movie, because it was all little kids that were walking in.
Yeah, because we were going at 1. I feel like people who would see this movie typically go later. And we didn't end up with, like, the smallest theater ever. Like, we had a decent amount of people there. But, again, at the time he bought the tickets...
It was just us two. And he put the one direct... Like, yes, we had the best seats in the theater because
we were there first.
I bought the tickets early because we were planning on going to this anyways. And so... But, like, he bought the one directly next to her. And she had her stuff over there.
He luckily moved down once he saw my stuff. He's like, I'll only move back if someone else sits there.
Yeah.
But it was like a strange old man. I didn't want to sit next to a strange old man.
Yeah.
Why would you buy tickets next to me?
I don't know. It was weird.
I feel like it's common courtesy in the theater to, if there's, like, no one else buying, to leave at least one seat in between. But, yeah, I scooched really close to Jamie because I was uncomfortable.
Yeah, luckily they're reclining chairs, so you have enough room anyways. Like,
but I was like, dude.
Yeah, it was weird. But, we meet Sonny, we kind of figure out his character where he's, like, don't give a fuck attitude, like, very much just, like,
he's there
going with the flow.
And to go on to the next adventure and to try the new thing.
And what I didn't realize until later on was the first actual clip of the crash was him. It didn't connect with me that first clip wasn't just some race.
That?
Well, not when when it first opened up.
I figured that was the nightmare.
Nightmare?
Yeah, it was a nightmare. He was having a dream sequence.
I guess I didn't pay attention enough to realize he was having a nightmare.
That out.
No.
I was more confused by the waves. Like,
yeah, the waves were very interesting, but that's because he was listening to wave noises.
After we realized it. Yeah. But I was like, why is there a beach? But Daytona.
But yeah, and then he was gonna go off to him skipping around in racing series is so funny, and I don't think it is realistic. I don't think you can actually jump around that easily. Some you can.
Well, I think he was doing a lot of, like, random ones.
But so. IMSA is such a big, like, this is a...
Well, he said he signed for that race.
Yeah.
And then he went and did, like, a random $1,000 one where they were looking for a random driver. I don't think that's, like, necessarily a professional circuit. I think that's just him driving. So I didn't find that too unrealistic, because it's kind of like hopping from one odd job to the next is kind of how I viewed it. It's not like he was going in from, like, IMSA to, like, NASCAR to Indy to Formula. He was going from, like, Daytona to I'm gonna race a sand buggy. Like, I didn't find it that weird.
But then I think his teammate / like friend, whatever, back in F1 comes and goes, "You want a spot?" Which that's also just not realistic. They would have used their reserve driver.
It sounded like they did. It sounded like they asked 10 people.
Yeah.
So, and nobody wanted to drive for them, which I don't think 10 people would have turned down a spot in Formula 1.
Well, I don't know if it was just they were testing out those 10 people, but not... You could only switch drivers up to 4 times.
Okay, and he was their third, correct?
I think so. I think he was their third. Because, so you can test a bunch of drivers, that's fine, as long as they have their super license, which Sonny probably did not have a super license because he was older 50.
About that.
Well, because once you're 50, you can't give, even in endurance racing, so they have like the gold, like silver, platinum, you can't get above a silver or gold, I'm fairly sure, once you're over 50, and he's over 50. So, but I think super license is completely different, but he wouldn't have accumulated those points because he would have lost his license after that many years of not racing in F1. Especially because the cars are completely different. He was still racing Senna.
Yeah.
Like...
it's different.
Which is one of the one of the things of, like, okay, this is different, but whatever, it's a movie, it's supposed to be
and
unrealistic.
they do play into it a bit as well.
Yeah.
To, like, I mean, there's obviously some suspension of disbelief as a fan, but...
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine. Like, I wasn't too bothered by that. I kind of recognized it was unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, 3 decades is a lot, but, like, we have Alonso in there, and he's in his 40s. I mean, I know it's a 20-year difference.
But Alonso's been driving the entire time.
True.
There's a difference.
I know. I was willing to suspend my disbelief for that, though.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me very much.
I did like Pierce's character a lot.
I like how he developed. I think they needed, like, one more race. I wish they did it 10 races, had the 9th be a bonding race.
Well, they did it 10 races.
No, they did 9. The whole thing was you have 9 races to win a race.
I thought it was 10.
It was 9. Fine. 11. I'm pretty sure it was 9.
I'm almost 100% sure it was 10.
It was 9.
Why would it be 9?
I don't know, but that's what they did.
Well, okay, Silverstone... I'm trying to think. I don't think they even showed all 9, even in the, like, where it sped through them. But I liked Pierce's character. I liked that he was that cocky rookie and thought he was better than everyone else kind of, like, thing, and that, like, Sonny was coming in to be like, no, I'm the mature one.
I'm not seeing anything immediately online, and I don't want to be off paying attention too much. But it was 9 or 10. We'll just settle there. 9.5.
9.5. Yeah, but they did testing at Silverstone with Sonny. I think I did like that he
crashed the car immediately.
But I liked that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I liked that he didn't immediately understand the car. He immediately struggled. The time thing was a little weird, but I think both Pierce...
I thought it was, like, okay.
Yeah, I think both Pierce and him were slow because the car was slow, so, like...
I mean, they were constantly talking about how bad the car was.
Well,
like,
it was an F2 car in an F1 race.
Fair.
I love learning about the cars and learning about what the cars look like, and I love learning the new technical stuff.
It did look different, like, but I have way less interest in this.
I could clearly tell, especially when there was a lot of the shots of the F1 car and their car right up to next to each other. I could clearly tell that it was an F2 car that was just upgraded, mainly because of the slope of the wing. I was like, that's not how F1 aerodynamics work. No, that's not. Or, like, the back wing was definitely one that I was like, that's an F2 car.
I saw that one, actually. I did notice that and go, huh.
Yeah.
That feels different.
Which, I understand that
it's
they can't.
Magic, and also, they're not gonna...
I kind of wish... Part of me kind of wishes that they just said fuck it and put everyone in F2 cars, but that would have made it so the filming...
The drivers would not have wanted to do that.
You would have had to you would have had to pay so much more to get that to be done and stuff, so it was just like...
And at that point, just make fictional drivers.
Yeah. Which a lot of people wish that was what happened.
No, I had fun with it. I liked my little cameos. I also think it's good. Okay, I know not everyone wants new fans, but I'm of the opinion that having more people enjoy the sport is only good because you're going to get more awareness. Is that
a capitalism mindset of you? I got you there.
I think having more fans in the fandom will only be better and open up more discussions.
I think so too. I think it will bring even new people into, like, thinking about the sport and being like, ooh, that's something I like and something I could potentially want to do, like little kids.
And I don't think that's inherently bad. And I think, like, then I think with more awareness comes more people talking about certain injustices or something in the sport as well. And that's how you can make change. But
I think the main reason why one is everyone wants to gatekeep something they love and something they've been around for their entire life, because, like, new fans do change things, but also you have to have new fans, like...
Or else it'll die.
Yeah.
Like, you're helping keep the sport running,
alive.
you're getting more awareness, more visibility on it. You'll probably get better times, better channels, like.
But that's also, like, the complaint of, like, is the new fans the reason why we're losing so many old circuits? Because they need to move where they are at to get the money and
I feel like
get
there's
the
still
audience.
a good amount of old circuits, though, in use. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with having new circuits as long as you keep some of the old ones. Like, I think there has to be, like, a healthy mix.
And then I honestly think the biggest thing is that the movie's gonna Americanize it more.
That's the
and not
concern.
A lot
I
of people like the idea.
Like,
I also like it Eurocentric, and that's like we're two people coming from America.
Yeah, you couldn't tell by our accents we're American.
Yeah.
Caw.
But like, I don't know. NASCAR isn't my favorite thing in the world, and that's like immediate American.
Like, I don't mind there being like some media, but if you sensationalize it too much. Like, it becomes something different. Like, I want it to maintain its more Eurocentric focus.
I also want it to just maintain its, like, more worldly view.
That
instead
too.
of an
I like
Americanized
that they race
view.
Around the world. I like that it feels more global.
But bringing in more Americans, bring in more money to the sport.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of money in America, and so that also brings in new availability to the teams.
Well, I also think, like, because a lot of Americans don't even really know that F1 really exists, and it's the pinnacle of motorsports for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now you can actually rub in their faces that you have the superior sport. Like, yeah. I think that's a fun way to view it as well. Yeah. You get to brag to us. We don't have an American on the grid right now.
No.
We're not the best at something. You get to bask in that glory.
But also, most Americans aren't going to go over to F1 because they have so many racing series that they can do just here.
True, but, like, I think the world travel bit of it makes it very appealing as well.
But it's very expensive because you have to live in Europe to get to that point.
Yeah. Anyway, though, back to the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sonny joins.
Yes.
Sonny's tires are weird immediately. He, like, pretends not to know how to turn on the car.
Yeah, that was so
stupid.
I was great.
Like... It was funny.
I was like, oh my god, what is going on?
And then I realized it was purposeful.
Yeah, and then it was like
being
fully...
a bit cheeky.
He was being fully purposeful with it, so then he had hotter tires.
And I liked that he, like... They openly show that, like, he's kind of playing a part. Like, yeah, he's not doing media or anything, but, like... No, he's an asshole, but, like, he has strategy. He's not, like, some pathetic 60-something-year-old man who will just give up.
Yeah.
Is he in his 60s in the movie?
No, he's, like, 58, 55.
Okay, he's not some pathetic 50-year-old man. Like, he does have some skills and, like, strategy.
He knows what he's doing. He was in F1, and he was actively fighting against Senna.
They were underestimating him, like, going into it. So I like that they showed, like, he's using this to his advantage.
He's smart. He's definitely a smart racer. Is he a little dirty? Oh, hell yeah.
We'll get into his
Flavio yeah.
Crashgate to the max.
There was a little too much crashing, I think, in my opinion, but also it gave the drama.
Like, Logan got fired for crashing the Williams so much, and Sonny's over there purposely ruining 6 wings in a race. Like, come on.
Because, like, the first race they crashed, and both of them were out.
Yeah, they're both out, so that's one crash.
And then...
JP crashes pretty badly.
Well, that's, like, the third race, because the second race... Sonny helps him get points because he realized...
But Sonny crashes, like, 3 or 4 times.
Because he got told off saying that this is a team sport, and unless you finish a lap or get us points, I'm not doing anything for you, for the girl. And so, like, then he gets points, he starts becoming a team player, which definitely makes you like him more.
Oh, yeah, and you realize it, like, he's kind of trying to hide that he's being a team player, but you know it's because he's being a team player.
But honestly, the way he was crashing also worked out well, because it did, in my opinion, it did look like racing incidents. Yeah. Happening 3 times in a race would start being the questioning.
The weirdest thing, though, is that he would have gotten penalty points on his license, which they never bring up, and... the team would have gotten in a lot of trouble because they're openly talking.
They were openly saying it! Plan C, plan chaos, like...
Yeah, like... but it does help JP and it gets some points on the board. I was talking to you about this. I wish they showed quali, because how are they qualifying this bad every race and then showing up? And it's because they're built for their one big difference in their car is they're built for being in the dirty air or whatever. But
well, okay, the qualifying did not need to be there at all.
I think they should have shown at least one.
That would have made the movie so boring, and you know it. It would have made it so boring because
Kevin
quali doesn't have any racing elements to it. It is just
True.
going around a track.
That's fair.
They're not gonna have that in the
wish
movie.
They mentioned it more though.
Maybe,
as,
but it's
important.
okay, if you're gonna point that they do bad in quali, but then they show up for the race. Look at Lando. Lando has had his moments in quali and then ends up gaining 7 spots. Max does it all the time. It's not unreasonable.
No, that's fair.
How quickly they gain spots, that's a little unreasonable.
What was the other thing I was talking to you about? Oh, back to the crashing, though.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been penalized. The team would have been penalized. And I do think they were slightly penalized by, starting further back on the grid, maybe. But I don't know. That was after the racing incident where he went flying, right? Where they got penalized?
They didn't get penalized for that.
Yeah, they did. They started at the back of the grid, I think, after the guy crashed. Whatever. Anyway, they would have been punished for the crashing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
but also,
we've
even
clearly
though it's
already seen
unrealistic,
it.
That was the funniest part of the movie for me.
We've already seen this happen with Crashgate. They just copied that, but worse.
It was so
and not
funny.
as dramatic about it.
Yeah, it was funny though.
But then we get to the big crash where
Yeah.
it starts raining in Hungary, I think it was.
Was it
No.
Monza?
Hungary, it was Monza.
Monza.
Yes. Hungary was the crashing a lot because, okay, one problem with this movie is also they filmed it over 2 F1 seasons.
The cars are different.
Yeah, there was a lot of, I could tell based off of their clothing, the drivers too, why are we
They
having...
did give Charles his eyes close up though.
did the stereotypical
Yeah.
F1 thing. But, I was like, oh, that's a 2023 shirt, or, oh, that's a 2023 livery, but this is a 2024 race. There was elements like that in it.
Honestly, though, that didn't bother me too much, because I only knew of it because I'm a fan and I was looking for inconsistencies.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Once
matter
again,
to
this
the
film
brand.
isn't, yes, it's for the fans, but I think it's more for
to get people into
the
sport.
world to see.
Yeah, and to show how cool
It's supposed to be this blockbuster action film, and people love racing movies.
I like racing movies.
We see that all the time, that racing movies just do well, period.
Especially if you have Brad Pitt as your name, you have a good actor, you have a good score. They're trying to sell this to the fans.
They had a lot of the actors I feel were a little more unknown. You had Brad Pitt, but he was the only the only actual actor I knew. But you had a good director because Top Gun Maverick, and then you had Hans Zimmer, which has the most amazing scores for movies you have ever seen, because you have Interstellar, you have How to Train Your Dragon, you could go on. You could go on with Hans Zimmer, and that, I loved the score, and I'm mad that it's not on Spotify yet. Put it on Spotify. Let me listen to my instrumental music, because I play viola and I love it.
Oh, poor Jamie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they said Max stayed out on slick tires for when it started raining.
Makes sense for Max.
Okay, and so Pierce staying out on slick tires wasn't the reason he crashed.
And the mother blaming him when it was the other JP, JP was the one who did it.
Yeah. And I think we could all tell that as watching the movies, that it wasn't Sonny's
not at all.
fault. One, yes, he's kind of telling them what to do, which that's also unrealistic in itself. That would never happen.
They all try to tell.
They all try, but
is different.
Yeah, he would.
I guess he was the not listening version of the driver, and they were just stuck.
The drivers tell about themselves. They don't tell their teammate what to do.
Yeah.
That's the unrealistic part.
True.
I think that crash was completely unrealistic. I don't think that could have. I know you say that curb couldn't have done that.
I didn't say that. I think the crash was unrealistic. I agreed with you, but I was saying there are freak accidents in other motorsports similar to that.
But it wouldn't have happened in F1. Like, yes, they can go into the air in F1, but it's
Not
like they
that
go
high, I
they
agree
go
with you.
over a car or something. They're never gonna go over the barrier like that. He
You say
went
that,
over the barrier
what's
into
the
the
guy's
woods.
name in Gran Turismo? That is literally what happened.
Yeah,
And
but
I
he's
know it's
not
a
in an
different type of
F1 car. It's
Yeah,
a
but Gran
different
Turismo's
car. No.
Is it realistic? No, but is there freak accidents all the time? Not all the time.
Yes.
But are there freak accidents? So it was more that was a freak.
But also,
accident
Gran
that I was thinking.
Turismo is a while back.
No, I know.
It's
but
not modern
I
day.
didn't say it was realistic. I said there it could happen. Potentially.
No, that he could have gone into the air, not that far. He would have
Yeah.
still stayed inside the barrier.
No, I thought it was.
And I still think he could have caught on fire. We've seen that in
Yeah.
modern times. But it's just the fact that he went over the barrier.
The Haas principal from that
Oh, I
time
love
was
Gunther.
so funny.
I
in
love
this.
Gunther.
He
was
so
my
good.
favorite principal just period before, so I love that man. I love all of his videos he does recently. I love that man.
He was so funny.
Yeah.
He was so good. Him just staring over at Apex like, I hate you.
Yeah.
Zach Brown's comment was really funny too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
But the crash was the crash, and it made sense. Like, you kind of need that drama, especially
Oh,
for
we
Pierce's
all do.
character.
Yeah.
It was a good thing for his character
Humbles
arc.
him a little bit.
It didn't really, because then he got pissed off right away, and
Yeah,
then he got humbled.
But it helps develop.
Yeah. The
let's
hands
see.
thing, I loved that factor just because,
Yeah.
once again,
That's
like,
realistic.
Roman Grosjean, that's exactly, his hands and his feet burned, and that's what was burning.
And that's realistic.
Mhm.
We go, I think, 3 races without JP.
Yes, we go 3 races, and the entire time Sonny is in points because they finally get the new floor.
Yeah, they did the tech fairly well. They actually showed, how technically advanced F1 is with, the wind tunnels.
Yeah.
Which I do think is different to other motorsports.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they're kind of, showing off.
I love my favorite
ooh.
thing. I was just being like, oh, that's the Williams wind tunnel, because I know the FIA was like, about it, because they got money from the studio for allowing them to use their wind tunnel, which I bet McLaren got money for allowing them to use their headquarters, so
The random cows.
but oh yeah, immediately headquarters, I was like, oh, that's McLaren's. I was like, oh, I know that one. But McLaren's, I think, the only team that allows movies to use their headquarters as film sites. I think the others are
I
a
think
little
they did
more.
it for Andor as well,
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
And they've done it for plenty of other
Okay.
movies. This isn't the first time, so it makes sense that it was McLaren's.
Finish my drink.
I finished mine long ago.
I was thirsty.
But then we go 3 races. Sonny's in points the entire time. He's kind of getting that momentum.
Oh, the one Apex fan at the beginning being like, ah!
Yeah.
And I was like, I like you.
You know what's up.
And then them slowly growing in popularity. I think that was actually fairly realistic to how that would actually go. But that one guy, I was like, you get it.
Yeah, and
That's
then
the one Alpine fan who also does reaction videos that I showed you
oh yeah.
with his double podium or whatever.
But then Pierce gets back into competing. They immediately crash again because why
What are we at
not?
now?
It's 5 or 6.
Well, he crashes 3 times with the wings, but their wing. How many wings did they bring to Monza of all
I
places?
know.
That makes sense for Monaco, but
Yeah.
Monza
3, 4. It's 5.
and then plus 2.
6. That's
6.
the 6th crash of the movie.
So we're at 6 crashes, and we're not
6
anywhere near
crashes.
9/10 races.
But which that makes sense
Yeah.
that they crashed because once again,
And at that
Pierce
point, we
needed
have
that.
3 races left, right? So it's the crash race, and then we have Vegas and Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
And the race order is off.
Oh,
You
off,
just need to know
awful,
that.
awful. Some of those races can't be after Silverstone just because of weather. They
It was off.
They put the thing in order based off of weather. Whatever.
But it's where they had permission to film.
Yeah.
So, objectively, I get it, but also, it's not the right order.
Yeah. And then what was funny when they were getting FIA searched
Yeah.
was both of us immediately went, it was Christian Horner.
I went, Jamie went, who do you think got it? Or I went to Jamie, who do you think reported them?
Christian Horner.
And Christian Horner went, you're 100% right, it's Christian Horner.
Christian Horner
It's
did it. It's always Red Bull.
Oh, no,
Red
you
Bull.
went, it's Red Bull, and I went, yeah, Christian Horner totally did it.
Yeah, I'm like, it's always Red Bull. They are always the ones
They're the
looking out.
tattletales.
They are the tattletales for things.
We were wrong. By the
Well,
way.
yeah, clearly we were wrong.
Um,
I loved the scene at the supper club of her forcing them to start being friendly with
Yeah.
each other by playing cards.
and, I mean, it was a little bit cheesy, but, like, it worked.
It was great.
It
was
worked.
great.
And they do bond, and then that's when JP fully starts to develop.
Yes, that's when he starts to respect Sonny a
Yeah.
little bit more for what he is. And
He starts to understand him.
I think it also helped that when he was at the club, the girl asking to meet Carlos instead of him really hit him hard. That was
Jamie
funny.
And I went, real.
Asking
And
for
then Jamie just
Carlos.
starts laughing in the theater. It was not a funny scene. I mean, it was, but like not laugh out loud funny. But
yeah.
Jamie was cackling.
It was great. They get to Vegas, and then Sonny has his crash because
No, that's where the floor thing happens first. So that's when
Yeah.
the floor gets reported. So the floor,
and they have to go
with
back to the
wind
old
tunnel,
one.
Okay, this was something I had a problem with, and Jamie's like, I didn't find this as big of a deal. Where the upgrade, they had one upgrade to the floor, and suddenly their car was competitive. And I'm like, okay, like, yes, it would help, but, like, I don't think it would gain them that much speed
I
that
think
quickly.
a lot of people don't remember that when Sonny got talked to in
Yeah.
the beginning to get recruited, they said they got upgrades before that.
That's
so
true,
that
but,
was
like,
an
the first
upgrade on
race
top
wasn't
of the
that- I mean,
upgrades.
granted, they crashed before anything
Yeah.
could happen. Okay. The pit crew at the beginning was not great
Also, the pit
either.
crew was struggling a little
Like,
bit
how did you all
there.
get jobs?
I was like, damn, how do you do that so badly?
Like, your one job is to put on the tires and fill the gas.
Yeah.
And you didn't do it.
But he crashes I didn't, the fact that his his teammate didn't know how serious the injury back in 93 was, and
Well,
being
nobody
like,
did.
no, you are
Yeah.
not racing.
Yeah, Sonny Race is very angry
Yes.
because of the floor thing.
The
So,
floor
like,
thing,
how are
and
we going to
also he
compete?
didn't have his card.
Yeah, well,
he
that was
didn't
the
have
other
his
thing.
superstition.
Yeah, he didn't have a superstition, and he didn't have his floor thing. So he's racing very angry, which is something in general, like most
Yeah,
drivers
that
have to
happens.
do.
Like, I wasn't actually surprised about
Yeah.
that crash, but that's crash number 7.
in 9/10 races.
Yep.
And this is the second to last race. So the floor thing was a bigger deal because
They needed that.
needed to pretend.
They were trying to get investors.
Okay, here's the other thing. The whole goal of the movie is to win one race. They're in their third year of F1 and they have scored no points ever. Which, okay, fair. That kind of sucks. But I would say, like, your expectation is top 5, maybe. Like, if you get a top 5 finish, we'll start, like, more seriously looking at investing in you. A win,
Yeah.
I feel like, is very unrealistic. Why is
Yeah.
my mother texting me?
They were really going for it there.
my
for
dad
the,
listened. She knows what I'm referring to.
Yeah. But yeah, that whatever. But that one investor dude, when we found out it was him, I was like,
Plot twist.
oh my god!
It made so much sense.
Yeah. Well, I was like, you're such a fan of Sonny in the beginning, though. You really are gonna do this, but like, he also wants the money, and
Yeah, he
like
wants the
owning
money.
a F1 team gives you money. So like, I guess
he notices Sonny turning the team around, and he's like, perfect. Like,
perfect. This is my
strategizer.
perfect way in.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I need.
Like, it
And
was
Sonny being
strategic.
like, this is not how I play things.
Sonny getting flipped off by Max Verstappen.
I forgot about that one.
It might have been JP. One of them got flipped off by Max.
It
And I
was
went, That's
Sonny.
the most Max thing I've ever
Oh yeah,
seen.
Max,
Oh yeah, because he was holding up the entire. Oh,
Yep.
we forgot about this.
he was holding up. Oh,
Heating extraordinaire. Sonny Hayes.
I
Everybody.
I
They're
bet you
such
not.
cheats.
The night before, or the week of Monaco was when all the F1 drivers saw that movie for the first time. And if Liam and Isaac,
Do you think Racing Bulls got their strategy?
if Liam and Isaac got that idea and told their principals, I guess their team principals watched the movie at the
Yeah.
same time too. If they got the idea from this movie, would be insane, because I don't think we've ever seen that bad of impeding until Monaco.
He gets out
And
of the,
the
way by
movie.
the third flag. Like,
Yeah.
he's being legal about it.
Yeah.
God, Apex is blatantly cheating, and they're like, the rules are against us. What are we meant to do?
Oh, I love
you know,
it.
The Amblin in 6, where it's like, What was I meant to do? They changed
I
the rules.
loved it. But yeah, and so we get to Abu Dhabi, and their upgrades.
Oh, Sonny was in the hospital because of his crash.
Yeah.
And he's told he can't race, and then he finds out about the weird document.
And then he goes, "Psych, I'm racing now," and reports the guy to the FIA. Like, he gets it.
Yeah, because it's blatant. It's forged documents, and it's blatant team sabotage.
Yeah.
Inner team sabotage.
Yeah.
Which is absurd.
Yeah.
But
also not surprising. We've seen that happen before. Spygate and Crashgate really come in to get some plots into this.
But anyway, we're at Abu Dhabi, and he's, like, not doing well, but he has a lawyer in Tijuana, or whatever, who signed off on it.
Yeah, whatever that was.
So he can race. And the team's not liable.
I love Pierce making everyone go running like Sonny would when that was cute.
That's what I was talking to you about. I wish they had
that.
one race in between for them to have bonded. Like, even if it was Vegas, where, he, like, goes out on, because Sonny runs with the team before. He goes out and runs with the team, and they start to just talk a bit more, because before Abu Dhabi, he starts taking up some of the old-timey Sonny, like, training things. Like, instead of doing the hit for the reaction time,
the balls.
he's throwing the balls and everything. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And you're showing him developing and becoming a smarter driver. And he also is on the simulator and realizes, oh, Sonny was right. I shouldn't have done this turn like this. I should have waited. He's developing and, like, learning as a driver. But I'm like, I wish you had a scene where they, like, fully bonded more, because it would have made the ending hit better.
I don't know. I think for me, it still hit. I don't know.
I think it could have hit better.
I could tell at Las Vegas that he had changed. Yeah. And then he had really, and, like, him going and giving, like, he was going to give a gift to Sonny at the hospital was really when it was like, okay, he's stopped being that, like, rookie that thinks he's all that. Yeah. Like, he's definitely, like, starting to calm down a bit.
He starts being like, I don't want to do media. I want to focus on my race. Like, I don't want to be a public figure. I want to be he realizes who he wants to be. Yeah. That's his arc. And he does develop into that, which is good.
And I think why that happened was when he realized that Monza was his fault. Yeah. Because in the beginning, he was blaming Sonny, for sure. But then once he did the simulator and did what Sonny told him to do, and he realized...
Been able to do it.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, shit. Yeah, okay.
It is my bad.
It was my fault. I can't blame this on him anymore. Like I need to change. I have to take
some internal responsibility. And that was his arc, and I thought it was a good arc for him.
Yes.
And I was really sad because everyone thought going into that last race that they had no chance, and they're like, this is our last day on the job, like... Yeah. Which, again, so stupid, because if you're taking over a team, like, yes, you can change some things, but you should keep some of the, like, staff that's already been working, I feel like, on the car.
I agree.
That's a squirrel. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
No, it's a bunny! Aww. We're outside again.
You can see that.
Yeah, but it's a baby bun.
Okay.
Sorry.
But yeah. I really liked the end race. But you want to know my one thing? I think Pierce should have won.
I think they should have had Pierce win as well.
That would have made it. I know Pierce at the end was like, oh, like, I have a million races to win. Like, you needed to win one. Yeah. But I was still like, that would just...
I think it would have been
make
more
the development
impactful. I think it would have had them with the double podium.
Or even that. That would have been great.
Well, because, like, okay, so I guess we're just skipping to the end of the race a bit. You have... Sonny does the impeding line thing again.
Yes.
Where they're stuck in a DRS train.
They both impede to get them up there.
And that makes sense.
Then Sonny crashes into George.
And Chaos Monger George.
Which causes red flag because he breaks the barrier.
Yeah. So they fix that. He gets a free change on tires. Or both of them do, which is good.
And they have the free tires because they had qualified terribly.
Very real thing. Yeah. I appreciated that.
We've seen it happen.
This was the most realistic race. They fixed the car up enough to where it's raceable, which we've seen before. They had 10 minutes. Makes sense. They wouldn't be able to catch up if it were an actual race. Yeah. So red flag conditions make sense. And then it's Hamilton in front.
It's Hamilton, Charles, Sonny, Pierce.
They get past Charles in
Yes,
a bit of an odd overtake, but like
it wouldn't have happened.
Probably not. He would have been able to block one of them off.
Yeah.
Probably not both. I do think they would have gone for the both strategy because they're desperate for a win, and at that point they are playing as a team.
Yeah.
But I don't think Charles would have missed both
of them. That was a little weird.
Their logic was they didn't qualify well because of the car, I think, at that point, because like they were still waiting for inspection or whatever.
No, they had the normal car, the new upgrades.
I guess they're really dependent on dirty air then.
Yeah, they are.
Which I don't know if it would make that much of a difference still, but whatever. But yeah, I think, like I was saying, I think Charles would have been able to at least block one of them off, but they had a tire advantage because they qualified poorly, so they were on faster slicks. Which
I think the
sense.
more realistic overtake was Hamilton, where
well, Hamilton blocked one
off, and then Pierce went through,
which makes sense.
Yeah,
and then Pierce is in front. Hamilton overtakes again, which is Hamilton.
Yes.
So it's like,
and then eventually those two are fighting. They crash. So we're on crash like number 9.
Yeah, which is. I wish he didn't. And then JP's cheering on Sonny to win, and then Sonny leaves. Also, Hamilton got 2021 in Abu Dhabi. Kind of again,
he really got screwed over on his win once again. Yeah.
But yeah, it ends with Charles and George on the podium, and I saw something really funny online where they were like, George wasn't even projected for a podium, somehow makes it P3, and the whole meme of does nothing get P3 fits in the movie
every time. Every time he just somehow ends up there.
I love George.
I actually think this was more based not fully, but more based off the 2023
I think
season.
So too. That's what I was
just
getting.
Based off of where everyone was at.
The thing is Max would have been probably in front then. So like, because Red Bull dominance in 2023.
Hamilton's gonna be up in front just because it's the last race and it's his movie.
That's true.
Like I wasn't.
It was an unrealistic season for both. I mean, let's be real, but they're
I'm
trying
not
to make it more
surprised. It was more like 2021 Hamilton kind of moment there. So I wasn't like fully like,
clearly, like it's a fictionalized version of events with the real drivers.
Yes. They don't specifically say what season it is.
They don't say what season. They don't say where people are standing. Really, we know where. We knew where the
constructors.
We don't know anything about world drivers standings. No. We just know constructors.
I think. And I don't think it was a bad movie entirely of itself.
You know what pissed me off, though, Jamie? Constructors have their own champion when they win a race, and if they have the most points. And also, that constructor, they probably didn't have the most points that race. So he their principal, because it goes by who has the most points for the constructor. No, is it the winning driver?
It just goes to the winning driver. They also give it to the constructor.
I was given fake information then.
I'm fairly sure.
Not by you. I was given fake information somewhere.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly sure it's literally whoever wins, the constructor also gets the trophy.
Then maybe I'm insane.
Because because if you look at the McLarens, even when it's just Oscar on the podium, or Mercedes, but they
normally score the most overall.
Max,
points.
no, here, but Red Bull. Max has won this season, but the Red Bulls get the trophy.
I was given fake news.
Yeah. No, it's just based off of the winner.
I never paid too much attention to that, other than they also get a trophy.
Yeah, they also get a trophy,
and they didn't get a trophy.
Yeah, that was a little weird at the end.
Brad Pitt is like, here,
give him the trophy, instead of me. But he gets his own trophy.
What they should have done is a double podium. Whether that be first and third or first and second, I think they should have had JP on top, because Sonny is helping develop him into a professional driver. Have Sonny be second, but still find the love of racing and his moment of serendipity. Which also, if it was a yellow flag, they would have finished under a safety car or a virtual safety car. They would not have finished racing.
No, it was just a yellow flag.
That would still be it.
No. Yellow. You can have yellow flags on the track.
But that would still be they crashed. It would be a virtual safety
car.
No,
they were far enough off that they didn't need to be. It's just you need to go slower there.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I think there was potential for it to have ended that way instead.
But that still wouldn't have done much.
I know, he still would have won.
Yeah.
But
that would have made sure he would have won.
Unrealistic to me as well.
It just made sure that would have made sure he won. So this was more of a he still had to fight that last lap.
But you didn't really, because he was in front.
Oh, you could see Charles behind him.
Charles is there,
Yeah. But yeah, I think you had a little differing opinion. You kind of wish that Sonny would have stayed on as a strategist or something.
I think because I feel like part of his arc was that he was trying to find the thrill of the drive.
Mm-hmm.
And he found the thrill of the drive working with this team. So for me, it would have made sense, like, he has a girlfriend there. He has a really good, like, mentor-mentee relationship with JP. He'd still potentially get to work on cars. Like, he does have that mindset to where, like, he might have found peace in something else.
Whereas I saw his character more as a, like, he loves racing, he can't stop, he's just going to continue.
I think both endings would have worked. I think I would have preferred him staying on at Apex, just because I think he would have been a very valuable addition.
Well, I think they figured out their shit.
Yeah, they did.
Even, like, he helped them figure it out.
Risks. You have to be aggressive. You have to drive.
Like, and so I think his ending actually just felt perfectly for his characterization.
It was in character for
I
him.
was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna continue going around.
He could have been content.
I think he would have stopped his gambling, so he would have started making more money. That's for sure.
I think
he would have still lived.
Stopped gambling though.
I think he'll still live out of his van.
Oh yeah, I think he likes van life.
Oh yeah. That's just his character, and that's just who he is.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense that, like, they didn't, like, he stopped racing after that and they didn't continue signing him. Because that happens. You can be signed on for 5 races.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
For his character, his age, his characterization, like, I think he knew this was, like...
This was it.
Yeah.
This was,
and, like, why not? He's an adrenaline junkie who wants to go do stuff.
One thing, my favorite thing the biggest thing of, like, inconsistencies I noticed was, so, Mexico was the Perez, like, crash, like, going over the car. That was a 2024 moment. That happened in, I'm fairly sure. It might have been 23.
We're thinking it happened in 23, but they never specify the year.
Well, yeah, but I think that crash happened. I'm now over, did that crash? No, because he effed up his Mexico race last year, too. I think that happened in 24. It might have happened in 23. I don't know. But the McLaren car if it happened in 24, if that crash happened in 24, the McLaren car at the beginning, at the start, was a 2023 McLaren, and the only reason I knew that, I was, looking for it, but McLaren was, like, the biggest, like, difference I knew of, because in the 2023 car, they still had their blue elements, whereas the 2024 and beyond,
and black.
Yeah, they've always had papaya. Not always. They used to be silver.
Senna was red.
Yeah, they used to be silver.
Was that Senna or Schumacher who was red and white?
Senna. Schumacher was always with Ferrari, not McLaren.
I knew it was Senna. I shouldn't doubt myself and my knowledge.
But yeah, so that was I was like, oh, okay, there's the car inconsistency moment.
Yeah.
Of, like, oh, this race is 24, but this car is in 23.
Too much, because, like, if you would only notice if you're specifically looking for it, and you and I weren't looking for it, so we could, 1, talk about it, but 2, like, we're also made aware through social media and everything, so, like, can we spot the difference?
Yeah.
Why is my mother texting me again?
But loved seeing everyone. There was a lot of, I would say, the most people you saw were probably Max, George, Lando, Charles. There was a lot of Carlos, too, which was weird to see Carlos. Hi guys, my MacBook died, which is what records these episodes, and I think we were kind of at the end of talking anyways.
Something about Carlos.
Oh yeah, because Carlos was in the movie. I was talking about which drivers were most in the movie.
Roscoe.
That was the greatest one. I loved seeing Roscoe.
I loved seeing Lewis and Mercedes here. It made me all nostalgic.
Yeah, there was a lot of nostalgic. I wish I could have seen Daniel or Logan, but that was really sad we didn't see them. We probably saw them driving, but, like...
Yeah. We saw a lot of Checo, too. Checo kept getting...
Oh, yeah, Checo kept getting passed and stuff.
I was like, poor Checo. Checo doesn't deserve this.
But, yeah...
Lewis was in it a lot, but it's his movie.
He paid for some of it, so, yeah, I liked the movie.
Me too.
Even with its inconsistencies, I don't care.
I think you have to go into it knowing it's going to be inconsistent.
Yeah.
You can't go in expecting it to be the most it's a movie. Like, they have
you gotta
to take creative liberties.
You gotta go into it being like, oh, this is a Hollywood film.
Yeah.
This ain't a documentary, guys.
You don't go into, a World War II movie expecting it to be like
Yeah.
the most accurate thing. Like, you can commend it when it is accurate, but like the battles aren't going to be super. I'm a I'm a history graduate. I have my bachelor's now, but like, you know, the battles are going to be over 40 feet apart. But for movie magic, like they have to be closer. Or like for the Napoleon movie was so inaccurate. Everybody, the Napoleon movie. Have you seen it? Don't. It's awful and it's inaccurate and no one should see it. But like, you go in kind of expecting it.
Yeah,
I was very angry though about the Napoleon movie because I'm really into French history.
Yeah. But anyways, great movie. I think how many stars?
I would give it a 7.5.
I think I'm at like a 7.
Yeah,
I think that's a good
7
one.
to 8 range.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it the greatest movie ever made? No. Did I enjoy it? Would I watch it again?
Yes.
So,
like, yeah.
That's what you got. I love Roscoe getting credit.
Yeah.
I love Toto at the end. Let me just throw some other things. Toto being like, you can drive for me.
No. I loved seeing Toto.
I love Toto, though. He's my favorite principal. Ignore this. He's my favorite principal, shockingly, everybody.
You can look at this, and as I say, he's also my favorite principal, so.
But yeah, I think that's just about it for the film. Yeah. Well, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.